Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another session of backtesting where I'm going to be backtesting another half month's worth of data. This is episode number 3 of our backtesting sessions where we are going from 2022 all the way up until 2026. If you guys are interested in checking out the rest of these videos, this entire process is going to be recorded and posted on my YouTube. That being said, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump straight into it. Sorry, I'm just putting on some music real quick. Cool. With that being said, I fucking missed episode 2, bro. Um, the screen was frozen on my end, so the recording is literally just of one screen, and I yapped the whole session, bro. So it's frozen. It's fucking 1 hour, but that's fine. We'll just continue from here. We finished off. That was a really good session. That's the most irritating part about it. It was a really good session. We actually came out with 6 dubs, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins, no losses, and then 13R on that first month, which was February. Came back from the first thing. But yeah, there's your stats and shit like that. Let's go and drop in now on the actual charts. Things that I'm on this is what I've like after going into my actual trade Zella and doing my research of my most recent trades. My most profitable time period is post 945. However, the most profitable P&L wise, so profitable, when I'm talking profitable, I'm talking like win rate and shit like that. However, the most profitable P&L wise is that 933. So in between the time periods, so this is the plan, right? Is going to be considered, if I'm going to trade the driver, it has to be at 933 because that's filtering out the decoupled market, and it's filtering out like the strength switch of when YM or NQ is going to fire in some fucking opposite direction of where we want price to go to. So that's what that waiting that 3 minutes was helping. And I explained that in the last session, but unfortunately, it didn't fucking record. So we got to explain it again. With that being said, that's just going off of my trade Zella stats where 933, between 933 and 930 and pre-market trades, right? The ones that I trade pre-market, the difference in losses is drastic, bro. The difference in losses between just that fucking 3 minute into opening is literally what is that fucking 12 to 21, 10, 9 losses, bro. 9 losses is added on within that 3 minute time span, only for the difference to be 2 different or 2 wins. So I between like pre-market and before 930 and shit like that, I have 12 wins and 20 or 21 losses. Between 933 and on or fucking on is 10 wins and 12 losses. So with that being said, it's like 933 still works. I am able to filter out the driver and the decoupled market and the strength and weakness within that first 3 minutes. Because you know like how you get that decoupled market off of the opening and sometimes you really don't know which one is going to fucking rip in what direction, right? I'm utilizing the strength and weakness within that first 3 minutes to go and judge that. So right now my plan in these backtesting sessions is, and just basing it off of my live market data as well, there is no entries between 933 and 945 for me. It's either 933 or 945. And that's when I finally have a different entry style as well. And that's where my win rate goes up, is at 945. My frequency and P&L wise, however, is more higher in that 933 time period. So the plan for these backtesting sessions right now is trading 933 or 945 or later, 15-minute pullbacks, and if there's no obvious entry for that driver play, which is the 933, always letting 3 minutes play first to then get on side with the driver. Then we can go and just utilize that 45 and shit like that, bro. We're just gonna jump into it. Fuck, my bad, dog. I had to explain myself there. If not, then we'd be fucking cooked, right? So we can see that there's an AMD that's already forming up here. We do have that manipulation of this high, and looking, we want to go lower. What day of the week is this? This is Tuesday, so Monday accumulation, manipulation into this internal range liquidity. So with this being said, Monday setting that high, Tuesday reversal, AMD back down to the downside. That's pretty much it, right? We could take notice of this range high going down to range low, low resistance liquidity. YM is looking a lot more bearish than NQ, however. So with this all being said, I'm more so leaning on YM side. However, we always gonna make sure that we do what? We press that first 3 minutes to be sure. So with this first 3 minutes here, what can we take notice of is that we are within gaps. We have a nice daily open high, press down, push into this gap. This gap is holding price down to the downside currently. We don't really have a 15-minute swing, or we do have one, I guess you could say, because NQ does sweep out this high here. YM is now showing us that it is like not respecting, right? It is going up still. So if it's wicking upwards, I really wouldn't want to jump in right here, right? Because that means that we could be sweeping out these highs first. So right here would be your sweeping of these highs. Once you get the sweeping of this highs, this sets a new 15-minute model. Waiting for this 15-minute to close now because it's already 9:41. You might as well wait till 9:45. So with this 9:45 closure like this, we have a 15-minute C2. I'm looking to trade the 15-minute C3 down to this low and then further lows over to the draw on liquidity that's located to the left of us. With this all being said now, we would want to see what? A 3-minute CISD. If I get this 3-minute CISD here, this is where I can jump in on the trade. So there would be your jumping in on this trade here. Stops can go up to these highs, and my target can be to 2R, which is, I would more so want to pull this in a little, just because this is a very relevant low, and I don't know how far we can get past it. Yeah, that should be fine right there. All right, place this order. Okay, so we get tapped in there. I guess it does retest the whole CISD in itself, right? And okay, yeah. So right here, you could actually scale into this position right now, because that would be your 10 a.m. opening high into this 3-minute gap. With that very sharp reaction off of it, you could scale into this position just like this. Stops can go here, and then you can target for another 2R just like that as well. Do I want to go break even? Now, I'm going to accept the risk here. There's no reason to go break even here if this is my overall draw on liquidity. It's kind of a waste of a trade if I got to be honest with you. Okay, price is ripping down to the downside now. As you can tell, NQ is falling apart. Why is NQ falling apart as well? Because it does a deeper pullback than YM does, and YM was already leaning more on the bearish end versus NQ is like fucking not, right? And then there would be your 2R, just like that. Right. So off market rip, we could take notice that what YM is a lot more bearish with a lot nicer of a fucking range high to range low. NQ does have the range high to range low, but it ain't as nice as YM, as it has just swept out this low. That correlated low on NQ is all the way down here, whereas YM is, or NQ is more so of that lagging asset logic versus this is just fucking, yeah, this is just, it's not that hard to see this one, right? You have that 15-minute OB, accumulation, manipulation, 15-minute C2, setting this high, and I'm trading that 15-minute C3 down to the downside. And all this is just seeing that what? The 3-minute CISD away from this AMD right here, and then you just catch that continuation down to that next level draw, which is range high down to range low, open, high, low, retrace, gap, and then just fucking catch the rest of that expansion downwards, right? And yeah, that's basically it. So let's move on to the next day. Sorry, my bad, dog. It's fucking 12 o'clock at night, bro. It's 12:20 right now, so I'm just gonna try to hit it up to 1, and then we'll see until I tap out, bro. But yeah, let's go into this next one. So taking a look here on the weekly time frame, just getting a grasp of what is happening here. Yeah, just getting a grasp of what is happening. Let's clear out the charts. So you can take notice that there is a weekly C2, or not weekly C2, but a weekly SMT that's located up at the highs. As ES, I need to start fucking looking at ES. I'm not gonna lie. I don't look at ES all the time. But we do have that weekly SMT pushing us downwards. There is a possibility that we go down to these lows. I do want to take notice that all of these lows have been swept out though. There is some relatively equal lows though down here. So there is reasoning for us to go back down to the downside. We do have these lows that's all stacked up against each other here. That can be considered your draw on liquidity. As the day before prior, which is that Tuesday, Monday opens high into internal range liquidity here. With us tapping us into this internal range, we have a daily C2. From that daily C2, I would like to see half of this daily candle be formed, and I would like to see the midpoint of these candles form the wick of that current day's candle. And my target of the current standpoint is going to be considered the previous day's low, right? So right now this is your low hanging fruit, as it is a low resistance or equal lows located there, and we can take that all into consideration. What is within the midpoint of these candles is going to be considered gaps, right? Gaps that we would like to see price hold on the 4-hour time frame. So you have this SMT here going from range high to range low. We impact range low. After impacting range low, what do we get? A retracement. How can we tell it's a retracement? Because it's not really in a rush. I do want to take notice though. Is this 1800? There is kind of like in a seek and destroy. As you can tell, there's like that broadening formation. However, these lows that stacked up against each other, these are definitely fucking it doesn't really matter that it's a seek and destroy, because it looks like it wants to just manipulate out the highs and then continue back down to these lows here. We do get hit with an accumulation. I really don't want to go and trade away from these highs, however, so I'd like to see those highs at first get manipulated, because now it's like showing me that I should be able to get manipulated, and then for us to then push back down to the downside. So I would like to see these highs get manipulated first before trying to jump into anything. I just genuinely cannot trade away from them. So there's your impact of those highs. I'm going to zoom in on the 15-minute time frame and try to align myself with a 15-minute model. There is an SMT that's located here right now, and with the SMT that's located there, I ideally want to just make sure that YM, the asset that's setting the manipulation, is reversing price, because if YM, the asset that sets the manipulation, can reverse price, then NQ, the weaker asset, should be able to go and rush down to these lows. Here we have your accumulation, your manipulation, your lagging asset right now, as there is an SMT that's located here, is setting an SMT like that and not reversing price. NQ is now switching straight down to the downside. We should be able to see NQ rip. With this being said, we do have that SMT like that. I would wait 3 more minutes because it's almost 10 a.m. So we're going to wait for that 3 more minute candle closure. Here's your PSP, as NQ is showing us having that deeper push. Ideally, I want to see YM go and reverse price here. Without YM reversing price, there is no trade here. So here's your YM actually pushing down extremely bearish. NQ does have a very bearish closure, candle closure like that as well. I could see NQ going and ripping lower. I don't like the way that we're impacting this level here, but it should be fine, because that'll be your 10 a.m. open high low close, 3 minute CISD pushing us down to the downside, equal lows that's located. Yeah, fuck yeah. And it's a very strong closure as well. Yeah, we should be fine. Touch you, my pretty woman. Okay, so this would be considered my entry like this. And then my stops would be break even as soon as you cross this low, going from range high back down to range low. SMT, as you can see, the asset that's setting that manipulation is reversing. What the fuck? Damn. Does not look like it's going lower. Are we bullish here or some shit? I mean, we have a 15-minute C2, 15-minute OB to the upside. YM is an asset that is failing to manipulate. We are in high premium to these highs like that. Previous does not look like we're trading to these lows anymore. Not gonna front there, right? We are holding this area. Fuck, dude, I don't want to trade away from these lows though. Not gonna front, bro. This doesn't look half bad for a long though, like that. Something like that. Okay, so if YM is gonna fail to manipulate these, then we can actually take now I'm a lot more confident than I was because of this 15-minute OB, and we are holding. I was not that confident, I'm not gonna lie to you, in trading away from those lows just yet. But now, because we are continuously expanding, we have this accumulation manipulation. Honestly, if I get a candle closure above these highs like this, I'll take this trade higher on YM. Yeah, I'll take this higher as an SMT fill. And then we have that correlated CISD as well. All assets is heading upwards. And then we have the SMT fill. As you can tell, swing point SMT like this. Trading a 30-minute, 15-minute OB, 3-minute CISD. Yeah, this is good. Stops close to break even. And then do we stop out of break even, or do we make it 2R? Fucking move this switch to 2R, bro. Don't be greedy about it. Okay, so we actually hit 2R. Okay, so there's 2R. Yeah. So that first entry, I got stopped out. I thought that this was a nice 10 a.m. open, high, low, close. But with it going and manipulating out this low, and with that instant strength into this, with that super strong wick into it, like, it's showing me that even the weakest asset does not want to go down to these lows. So if the weakest asset doesn't want to go down to these lows, the strongest asset is doing what is it doing here? It is failing to manipulate this accumulation high, and it's forming more bullish structure as it does open low, and we have that expansion away and going upwards. So it's obviously not going lower. So this is where I just had to adjust my bias. What am I seeing is a 15-minute C2, 15-minute OB getting formed. This is bullish structure. We are trading high, low, and trading up to minimal this high here as your range high going, or range low, and reversing off of this. I wouldn't call it a reversal though, because this is more retracement signatures. But once we fail, 930 really fails to manipulate here and actually goes down lower to these lows, we are obviously going back up where to these range highs now. So with this being said, a failure to manipulate equals what? Higher prices. And we can see that we are making our way upwards. We do have a 15-minute model here as NQ, just a weaker asset. That's not like it was weaker, but we're not going lower. Our draw on liquidity is not lower, right? So with that being said, what am I going to do? Trade the stronger asset, 15-minute C2, 3-minute CISD here, and your 11 a.m. candle does open low, forming its wick, and then getting closure over here with a strong closure, the way that it closed all the way at the top with a thick body, no wick candle. That is showing me obvious push signatures that we should be able to push higher, and that was your 2R located there. Just adjusting my bias. I was wrong obviously on my bias, right? And then yeah, I just had to readjust to it. So that's basically that. Cool. Moving on to the next. So here we could take notice of an accumulation highs right now getting swept out. I hate the way that we left these lows, but nonetheless, we did expand away from it. I want to take notice that we are, it could be bullish, it could be bearish. I'm really not entirely fucking sure, if I gotta be honest here. I was really bearish dog yesterday. There was no fucking reason for us to be bullish like that. Just stacking lows. I would say they were more bullish just because we are noticing, right? We are noticing that we are leaving these lows behind and everything like that. And that could be a signal of what higher prices, which we are in bullish order flow, which that was just what a deeper retracement. So with this all being said, I want to take notice that we are tapping us into a relative high. There is reasons for us to go here. Why? Because NQ has already tapped us into that high, and it has an SMT that we are not respecting right now. So with the SMT that's not respecting, there is a possibility for YM to go and break that SMT that's located up at those highs. ES does go and tap us in and breaks the SMT currently, so there is reasons for fuck, dude. Let's just simplify it away from all of that, right? Universal sequence, what are we? I would say external, internal right now, right? Accumulation, actually we're bearish. Fuck, simplify things. Accumulation, manipulating out this high, And now it's just wondering which asset would I like to trade down into the range, going from external of the range back down to internal of the range, because the internal external has already played out. However, this low, I really don't want to say it's considered the low after we go and impact a relative level. So you have your accumulation, range low, range high, getting accumulated, manipulated. I'd like to see us press back downwards to the current low of day. With this all being said, now I'm looking for what? Okay, so YM is showing us the obvious weakness in this candle already. NQ is we have an SMT break, right? We have SMT break. All assets is tapping into a relative level. YM is already reversing with that 30-minute C2. Everything is already kind of like showing bearish action. We do have that 3-minute CISD already in full effect. We do have a SMT that's located like this. I do have to wait 3 minutes in order to show me which asset is actually going to be the most bearish asset. And right now it's showing me that NQ is the most bearish asset. With that being said, this high should be considered protected as YM is making a decoupled move up higher. So with this being said, I'm not allowed to trade the first 3-minute CISD. I need to wait for what? The secondary CISD in order to get on side with this trade. So here is where I would be looking for a secondary CISD and seeing if I can get one formed here. Fuck. I fucking hate these ones, bro. Ain't gonna lie about that, dog. It's just in the middle of this could rip though because of its pressure. I'm kind of willing to take a stab at it. If I get stopped out, it's fine. It's just a very steep. This is honestly free. Yeah, that's free as fuck, dude. V-shape reversal off of those highs. NQ is the weaker asset. This is the opening of a new 15-minute candle. Shit, we're getting stopped. Okay, cool. Honestly, you could add in if you really wanted to. This would be your 10 a.m. opening. We already have some pretty nice OBs. This would be your 10 a.m. opening high. This would be off of a 30-minute C3, trading that 30-minute C4. And then now we could trade what? This candle down lower. If you wanted to add into your position, you could add in, as this is a 10 a.m. ICISD. And you could rip this down to those same lows. I'm going to shoot for 2R just because we're going to keep it realistic of what I'm currently doing in live market. But we can forward test those 3R plays. So this would be your 2R there. This would be like your 30-minute C2. You're not really going to get a 15-minute pullback play here, right? Because these candles are very expansive down to the downside. So what are you trading here now is a 30-minute just 10 a.m. ICISD. So with this being said, you have that 10 a.m. open low, open high, low close, and we should be able to expand downwards to 2R, and then you would be able to get your 2R there on that scale in position as well, going for a accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So now with this all being said, NQ is tapped into this level. I don't really want to see NQ press back up into the range. So if we want to go and play the lagging asset logic, we could play the lagging asset logic if we was to miss that first entry. If we want to trade the lagging asset logic, how would I want to do it? I'd like to trade that weaker asset, which is NQ or YM, because we are correlated. We can actually just trade YM right now if we really wanted to. And this would be your entry like this. Stops can go here. Stops to break even. You just gotta hold that fucker. Do we get it? And stopped out of break even, which is fine, right? So decent move there. And all this really was just seeing that your market open was an accumulation. You manipulate out the range highs, and we want to trade back down to range lows, which is the accumulation lows. That's my draw on liquidity there. And then there is a possibility for these lows here as your current draw, as you see the V-shape reversal. And we're just trading this 10 a.m. ICISD. And I traded this OB, which might have been considered weak. I'm not going to front to you. I think the better entry would have been the 10 a.m. ICISD versus trying to trade this, because I almost got stopped out, bro. That's not that great of an entry. I'm not gonna front there. But yeah, the secondary entry was a better entry in my personal opinion, right? Oh fuck, my back is itchy. That's basically it though. Princess mine. Give me 1 second. I want to rest my brain for a little. Oh, you guys gotta get these boomsticks. They're a little expensive though. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, these boomsticks. It's like what is that called? Like menthol nasal. You know those like peppermint type shits. It's what is that called? I use it when we rave and shit. It's called a boomstick. It's kind of like menthol, kind of like peppermint, minty stuff, and it's a nasal stick. And you sniff it, refreshes me back up, dog. Especially on these 2 o'clock mornings, bro. You get tired, your eyes get drowsy, and like you fucking. It's not sniffing coke or anything. Like, it ain't fucking like that. No. It's fucking wakes you up again. Get your refresh air, cold, like makes your brain cold and shit. I don't know. Never mind. This is not going the right way. This is not fucking happening. It's not playing out how I thought I was gonna explain it. Um, Damn, this is a fucking accumulation if I ever seen one. Well, we do have a daily C2. Ideally, you want to trade back down to the low of the range now. Where would I like to trade to? All of these lows that's located down there, as those were the stack lows that was located below us. So this becomes my draw on liquidity. Currently, we have the accumulation highs back down to accumulation lows. Daily C2 into daily C3 is what we want to go and trade down to. We can take notice that the 1800 candle is a very expansive candle. We can take notice that the 2 a.m. candle, however, is forming that high there, as YM is looking a lot more bearish already than NQ is. So with this all being said, we're going to see which asset to trade down lower. I want this to be considered my draw on liquidity. All assets are going to get there, really, is because we all expanded away from this high with the expansion, V-shape reversal expansion through. That's switching the order flow, 4-hour OB, all of that good shit. This is gonna be considered my high day. YM is a lot weaker right now, so we're just gonna take notice that okay, we do have a sweep here. That is giving me a very protected high for that 6 a.m. high already off of that sweep looking like that. I have to wait for 3 minutes to be sure that YM is aligned. I would much rather. Okay, so we do have a CISD there. I'm going to enter here on YM as we do respect this. And actually, this is a nice, what is that called? Gap opening, right? And we can take notice that NQ is running up a little higher. Why is NQ running up a little higher? Because NQ is that stronger asset. Whereas YM should be able to go and push us downwards to this low and then ultimately to that next draw on liquidity, which is going to be this low here. As you can tell, right? So this is your sell side, buy side, V-shape, expansion, accumulation, manipulate, and then the push down. So what do you have here? On the lower time frame, right? It's going to be your push, your retracement, expansion away, hits this low, accumulation, manipulation, looking for that distribution, expansion, accumulation, manipulation, and looking for the distribution. Now that's basically all it is. All phases in price right now is pointing for me to go down to the downside. So let's see if we get it here. So here's your expansion downwards. Do I move stops to break even? No, we accept the risk all the way through. Damn, we got fucked there. Damn, that was crazy, bro. Why did we get wicked out there? Unsure. Not entirely sure here why we got wicked out like that. You could enter again. I don't know. This high day is not looking too hot anymore. You know what I mean? I would honestly want to enter because now we can see that like they're all weak and they're all expanding. Just SMT direction right now is showing me that YM, it's just asset choice now. I don't know why we got wicked out like that. That's just so ugly. I would trade NQ here because NQ is showing me that it does have that push, retrace, and expansion down lower. Yeah, I would trade NQ down to the downside. I'm gonna be more so I wouldn't say hesitant, but once YM goes and tops us into this low, I'm gonna go stops to break even already, right? Damn, it doesn't look like NQ is gonna be the guy. Damn. Okay, now accept the risk, accept the risk. Waiting for YM to tap into that low. Once YM taps into this low here, my stops, oh wait, it didn't tap, it didn't cross. Yeah, we're still okay. Boom, tapped in. Boom, stops close to break even. We want to see NQ. I'm just gonna playing more conservative because of the fact that I just got stopped out. This is your previous day's low as well, so we should be able to rip straight through these, right? To that overall draw. Oh, fuck. Well, wrong draw on liquidity, I guess. We got stopped out of break even there on that second attempt. And yeah, it looks like we are. I mean, it's a very relative low, right? As you can tell, this is that model. In alignment with this low that we want to draw to. So it's a relative low. We can anticipate for these, as you can tell, right? Going from range high down to range low, push up, internal, external, and then this is where you want to see it gave us a reaction. It's not gonna fucking expand through if it doesn't, right? But we want to shoot for it to try and expand us through that way. And yeah, that's basically that right there. So break even trade there, -1R on that day. I don't know why we got wicked out like that. I'm not gonna front to you. But it's fine. So with this being said, accumulation lows has been met. We are reversing price off of it right now currently. So with the reversal of price located off of it, it looks like we're going from external back down to internal. Just accumulation highs or accumulation lows back up to accumulation highs. And we do take notice that what the reversal does happen very early in the day. So if the reversal does happen very early in the day, then we can anticipate for what? Price to start making its way up to the upside. Where do we want to make our way up to the upside with? All of that low resistance that's located to the left of me. So this becomes my draws on liquidity. This is where I would like to see price go to. I'll go for that one. As you can tell, 6 a.m. does have a very strong closure. The assets that is more so likely to hit these highs, I would say, is YM. YM does have that open low profile, and we are expanding up to the upside. So if YM has that open low profile, expansion up to the upside, 30-minute OB, we are already expanding. I would like to do what? Play that first 3-minute candle, see which asset is pushing us up here. We can see that NQ is holding that most strength. However, we are way too high in the range for me to want to enter off. There is no swing formations anywhere in here. So with no swing formations anywhere here, then I really wouldn't be able to trade it. I would like to wait to see if we can get some form of swing here. As you can tell, YM is reversing price. It's kind of like it is reversing price off of the high a day. Wait, how's the daily's wick looking? Daily's wick is not that bad. Ideally, okay, so we already flipped inside out on NQ. So yeah, we're still bullish. We're bullish. We're bullish. I just want to make sure that we're fucking bullish, dog. Yeah, we're definitely bullish to those highs. We can see that YM is making that deeper retracement. YM is about to sweep out these lows that's located here. So if YM can sweep out those lows located there, that's going to give me an SMT that's located like this. With the SMT that's located like this, ideally we would like to see YM, the asset that's setting this manipulation, reverse price. If YM, the asset that sets this manipulation, can reverse price, then we can trade NQ up to the upside. So I'm looking here. YM is reversing price right now, as we do have this CISD looking like that. We do have this SMT. I would just wait 3 more minutes because 10 a.m. is about to open. I really wouldn't want to just jump straight into anything here off of 10 a.m.'s rip. So 10 a.m. does open up, and we actually open up lower. So with that being said, we do, like, I don't want to enter at the last fucking 3 minutes of the candle, right? That's just like not trading a C2. We might as well just wait for 10 a.m. C2 to frame the low of that bottom of the 10 a.m. candle with a 10 a.m. C2 or a 10:15 C2. Here we could take notice that it's not really expanding up higher. We might be wrong on our bias, as we are impacting. Yeah, we might be wrong on our bias because this is an expansion away from this high. Failing to manipulate this low equals what? Lower prices. Lower prices where? To the, yeah, I think we're wrong on our bias. I'm not going to front there. And this is setting that high of day with that 30-minute extreme bearish C2, which is actually a SMT and a push, and all assets has reversed off of it. There is reasonings for NQ to want to go down lower, as well as YM has tapped us into its relative low. With YM tapping us, oh wait, It's in alignment with the overall draw on liquidity. That's why, right? And order flow is bearish. Yeah, it's actually not half bad. I'll trade this 3 minutes. I'm actually kind of down to try this right here because this would be your continuation through, and that's your 3 minute OB. And that's just your 10 a.m. ICISD. Down to all of this low resistance. And then that'll be your 2R. Do we get it to full TP? And then there will be your full TP, right? Could I have jumped in on YM? Let's see if we got a 15-minute C2 here. Accumulation, 15-minute C2 at 11:15. That sets the high of that 11 a.m. candle with the 15-minute C2. Once you get that 15-minute C2, damn, missed that. Okay, well, honestly, you could have just entered right here on that position, or not positional, but that 3-minute closure like this, and your stops would have to go to those highs, and you could take this down to 2R as well and see if we get it. And then that would be your 2R on YM as well. So with this being said, our target was just basically all of this low resistance. We can take notice of the daily candle does have that open low, but it does open up high at 930 reverses price. This is giving that delayed protraction feel where price does open low, accumulates, manipulates up higher, sets the high of day during New York 930, and 930 reverses price. As you can tell, this is New York's open. New York's open is here, and it really reverses price. I did not like these highs that's located on YM, but this is just YM making a deeper pullback, as NQ's highs is all the way the fuck up here. The same correlated highs is right here. So with that being said, NQ really didn't push up that high. It just pushed up to put in a wick because there was no wick here on the daily's candle. If there was no wick here on the daily's candle, what did it do? It opened low. Wait, sorry. It opened low, accumulate, sets a wick, reverses at 930, CISD, catch the continuation, some shit like that, right? And that's just your AMD to target what? Low resistance liquidity that is located below, in alignment with what? The overall higher time frame order flow, which is bearish. So that's why you would actually be pretty bearish here. All right, so with that being said, moving on to the next. Well, yeah. Profile's fucking cooked. Okay. Well, obviously we're bearish. Order flow is bearish. We do have that draw on liquidity. Multiple days of expansion though, so we may be getting hit with a different phase in price. You could see the profile being fucking cooked, bro. I'm not even gonna front to you. We could see a different phase in price here. Just multiple 1, 2, 3 days of expansion, and with that Seek and Destroy profile, which as you can tell, you could just see it fucking right off the bat. What does it do? It opens up high, goes low, sweeps out the low, goes back high, sweeps out the high. Ideally, you want to see this high actually hold price down to the downside. Actually, rotate this. Sorry. This is just a little manipulation, double purge type shit. This becomes your draw on liquidity. High a day is swept out, and we do have a 1 hour CISD away from that. That's just 6 a.m. setting the high here. And ideally, what is it going to do? It opens up gaps away from these highs a day. How we would want to trade this now, I'd like to see these gaps hold price down to the downside in order for us to go down to the downside. We do take notice that there is like SMTs, all that other SMT shit. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to play the first 3 minutes, and then we see which asset looks like it wants to go lower. YM does go and reach up higher, and it does set an SMT that's located like that. So with YM setting the SMT, there's like not an SMT fill, but it really is showing you that what YM does make that manipulation up higher, and NQ is really holding this pressure down to the downside. So with NQ holding this pressure down to the downside with this very strong closure with minimal wicks, you can enter right here off of this accumulation highs, protecting this high now. Reversal is happening at the driver, and you can take notice that we do have further draw, and we have that V-shaped reversal forming the highest point of the day, going from that internal range liquidity down to external general range. And this is why we would want to trade that. And we would line this up for 2R. Save this. NQ is a lot weaker. Damn. Well, we got wicked out there. Let's go and form out a 15-minute swing now. See if we can get a new 15-minute swing formation. So nothing there. I'm just gonna wait till 10. So here would be like your 10 a.m. candles closure. It's a 15-minute OB. Not the best reasoning. I don't understand why that failed, but I can take notice that this low here is very relevant in terms of the next one over though. So with that all being said, it might not be I don't like it, but it ain't bad, if that makes sense. I'll wait for the 10 a.m. closure. So there's no CISD here. I'll just wait for 10 a.m. open, high, low, close. Okay, so price is ripping downwards now. Let's see if I can get a 15-minute model. So here would be your 15-minute C2. V-shape reversal. I don't have a 3-minute CISD. Fuck. I don't have a 3-minute CISD. Holy consolidation, bro. I actually don't want to trade this. Never mind. We're good, dog. These deep ass pullbacks is not healthy, bro. We do not want to trade this. This is a consolidation. Will it get there? It could. Don't get me wrong. Oh shit, it didn't. So we'll take that 1R loss. Yeah, we'll take that 1R loss. I didn't want to jump in here. Why? Because we just took this loss off of that low. There is reasonings why he could have jumped in like right here on NQ to press us downwards, but nonetheless, fucking still missed, dude, for a -1R. That's fine. Yeah, we'll take that, dog. Fuck. Give me 1 second, guys. Some peace. So the plan right now is just 9:33 or later. If I have an obvious entry, play that driver at 9:33 only. I always have to wait for that 3 minutes to show me which asset is manipulating, which asset is fucking decoupled, which one is behaving the best, and which one is showing me that okay, this is easy, bro. What the fuck? Obviously that's gonna be the draw on liquidity, but we ideally want to go back down to this daily's opening price. Fuck, dude, that's crazy. Just so we did get hit with that different phase in price yesterday, right? Just because why multiple days of expansion equals a different phase in price. Looking like a very expansive bullish candle though, at least minimal to the previous day's high, and then we see how previous day's high is treated in order for us to get on side with it, right? We are expanding up high with a very aggressive fucking push. I'm not even gonna front to you. Very, very aggressive. We are not trading away from this high. We need to trade to this high and then trade away from it. So with that being said, I'm looking for us to go and rip up to it and see if we can I would honestly just wait for it to get hit. Unless it really offers me like some form of magical model, then yeah. So 930 is making a manipulation lower. So here's your manipulation lower, whereas YM now is holding price up to the upside. We do have that SMT that is getting put into play on YM. So let's see if now we can get a 3-minute CISD. If we get a 3-minute CISD, this is your accumulation, your manipulation. I don't really want to count this. Actually, we'll count it. Why not? And we can trade it. If there's heavy trending up to a draw on liquidity, we can trade it up to that draw on liquidity. And that's just your phases in price right there. Accumulation, manipulation, forming the low here with that 15-minute C2. Right? And then now we could just trade this upwards. Oh, fuck. Should have just fucking waited, bro. Damn. Gotta stop there. Honestly, you could try it again if you really wanted to. Yeah, this is a dumb position. Damn, why did I jump in this bitch? Fuck. That's basically another 15-minute C2 up to that same draw on liquidity, which is those highs to me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm going to get out of it. Maybe it runs, maybe it doesn't. It just doesn't belong to me. I should have just waited for those highs to be impacted. Well, that was a terrible session. Fuck. That was a terrible entry. I didn't like it. Yeah, that wasn't that good. As you can tell, it got there, but just the fashion of it, I probably should have just waited for this high to be impacted and try to short back down into the range, but it looks like it's not. It's a fucking crazy ass candle, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Holy shit. That daily candle doesn't have a wick. Maybe it has a wick, a SMT wick or some shit. But oh fuck, man. Oh, it's fucking annoying. Alright, so let's take a notice that we do sweep out those highs. Dog, what's up with my bias, bro? Bias is getting fucking cooked right now. Ideally, you want to be bullish here. Daily candle opening low right now. With this opening low, I want to see 930 reverse price, and which asset is going to be the 930 reversal, right? So with this being said, I do want to see 930 reverse price. I cannot trade away from those highs like that. We might be a 10 a.m. play. As you can tell, YM is the asset that is reversing price more aggressively now. So with YM pressing us upwards, I'd like to trade up higher. So here, I would just wait for that 15-minute closure. YM is really fucking aggressive right now. I'm not going to front to you there. Once you get this 15-minute closure, that'd be like your 30-minute C3. I'd ideally don't think that I can get a 15-minute. I'd have to wait a whole new 15 and then another 15 in order to get on side with a thing like that. I'd much more rather just try to trade a 15-minute C2 into expand. Okay, so we might get it. Because that would be our 15-minute C2. So here would be your 15-minute C2 now, swinging outside of this gap. So let's see if we can get entry. Accumulation. Damn. Oh, fuck. So looks like my bias is wrong again. And we might be bearish here. So here's like your new 15-minute model. Ideally, I'd want to see a 3-minute CISD up to the upside. Fuck. Well, my bias was wrong. Why was my bias wrong? So these is bearish order flow, and then this high here got impacted, and that could send us price down to the downside. There is no SMT there, but it's fine. It's an SMT break, right? It's an SMT break, as NQ has set that SMT. Oh, it's not an SMT break. They're just both reversing. I got my bias wrong there. I thought it was bullish here, and I mean it is bullish, but just not when I wanted it to be bullish. All right, so hard to trade away from all of these. What day of the week is this? This is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if this is a Monday, interesting. Very interesting. Because this could be considered a manipulation if this is your weekly opening price. Because this is your weekly opening. I don't know, because this is a Friday. It's like, this is a very large wick weekly candle. You know what I mean? It's like an indecision weekly candle. I don't know if I want to go up to the highest point of the week, or do I want to just chill the fuck out right here. I more so would want to just trade that down into the range and not try to set new highs of weeks. I'm not going to front to you. Right? I'd much rather just set this high here and then trade back down to attack some of these lows, as the daily profile does have a nice open, high, low, close type profile. With that being said, yeah, and we can see that we're already expanding away from it, so it looks pretty clean there. 6 a.m. does have that open high, not really respecting this 1 hour gap currently. We are pressing downwards. So we'll see how the 930 driver actually plays out and see what it does here, right? So We have a decoupled motion where YM now is becoming a lot stronger. We can see that NQ wants to go lower now. So let's see if we can get on side with an NQ trade here. Doesn't really look like it. It looks like it's just going to rip. I just don't have a swing formation to trade away from. So it's going to be kind of difficult for me to just get on side with any entry here, right? So with this all being said, I'm going to be looking for a 15-minute swing. So here's your 15-minute swing formation that's located off the top. This can send us down to the downside. And this is where if I get like this 3-minute CISD here, there is a possibility for me to jump. Oh, fuck. I'd anticipate for the 10. Oh, actually, I can trade the lagging asset. Let's trade the lagging asset down to the same lows because the phases and price is supporting it right now, whereas the lagging asset YM should be able to go and rip down lower as well. Once we tap into that daily opening price, I'm going to go stops or break even. I don't like the deep pullback, bro. I'm not going to front you there. Especially after impacting that low. Or do I accept the risk? Not entirely sure. Yeah, this is nothing but a retracement to me. Okay, now that we're hitting daily opening price, I'm going to go stops or break even because that's a sensitive area to price. Let's see if we get it. Okay. And then there's your 2R on the lagging asset. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, that's fucking relentless, bro. I didn't really have a good break-even point. I mean, ideally, you'd want to just attack this low, which is like a fake low a day. Maybe that could have been a good break-even point, but I didn't. I just kind of accepted the risk on it. And that's just like your 15-minute OB pressing back up as well. Best option would have been able to trade this trade right here, right? And that would have been your continuation entry like that, but it closed right on the line, which is not always the best and easiest to trade. So with that being said, there is another possibility for you to trade NQ here. 15-minute C2 looking like that, and then you would do what is just look for that 3-minute CISD, which here would be your 3-minute CISD. So this is actually a perfect entry as well. This would have been a good one. I was just already in on YM, so that really wouldn't be the best for me, so to say. And that's just doing what? Trading down to all these failures. And we should be able to go from range high back down to range low, V-shape reversal, and then we should be able to go and rip us all the way down there, right? And that's down to here. As you can tell, what is it? Range high, back down to range low, and low resistance liquidity going from there. And that's all it is, right? Fuck, dude, this is a lot. You there standing under the mango trees. Look so fine for me. If Friday has reversed, what should Monday do? Continue, right? So we do have this accumulation, the manipulation, wanting to see Monday continue down to where all of these lows, low hanging fruit is this low here. With that being said, where do I want to go and continue from? The lower half of that previous day's closure, which is going to do what? Daily candle opening up high. Not really into any internal range liquidity, but we are, because there's no 4-hour gaps. I mean, there is on ES, but nonetheless, we are trading down to where this low here, and that's going to be considered what? Your manipulation from range high to range low, opening up of gaps away from this thing is going to tell us that we should be able to go lower. And yeah, that's just basically what it is. So 6 a.m. candle is extremely bearish here. I'd like to see which asset is going to hold that bearish momentum. Is it going to be considered NQ, which NQ is the most bearish asset of current standpoint? We do have that retracement after impacting a relative low already. Let's see if it impacted a 30-minute gap. It does impact a 30-minute gap already, and we do have a 30-minute C3. With this 30-minute C3, that is a reversal happening prior to the driver. YM does make a manipulation off of these highs that's located there. So if YM makes that manipulation off of those highs located there, 30-minute C3, first 3 minutes has passed. We had this accumulation, the manipulation, looking for the distribution. 15-minute OB already put into effect, and the 6 a.m. or the 9 a.m. candle or 9:30 does have a very weak closure. As you can tell, the wick is showing a lot of what is that called? Fucking bearish momentum, right? So with this being said, I'd have to be at break even right as we cross that low, just because it's the lowest point in the day, and I'm shooting for like more of an external target versus an internal target, like how I usually like to trade. And when it's when it's very far away, when it's within like previous day, that is when I would consider, when it's within like, okay, previous day, that's when I consider, okay, I can just hold it open. But when it's like fucking far as fuck though, it's like, dog, it's not even on the same screen. It's like, this is considered an external target to me, right? Let's see if we can get this. It may, oh, yeah. I'm pretty down to try this though. See if it rips. Stops would be a break even already. It's a very quick break even play, because this is my lowest point of the day, right? So with that being said, let's see if it rips. It rips. If not, then not, right? So we get stopped out there at break even. I would just wait now because of that break even play. I would just wait for a new 15-minute model. Right, so here would be your 15-minute push upwards, getting that new 15-minute swing formation there. YM holding a lot more of the bearish pressure than NQ is. Now this is setting a new SMT that's located like this for YM to start making our way lower. We do have a nice daily profile that's pushing us up and then back downwards. There is a low that is very in close proximity, so to say. Okay, this is actually really nice. I got a counter closure beneath this. I'll take it. Ooh, NQ for the win. No, I'll pass on it. Oh, fuck, I should have took it, right? Looking here on the 15-minute time frame. So we do have that 15. I'll just wait for a 10 a.m. ICISD. I'm not going to front to you. This would be your 10 a.m. opening high. Looking for the low close. Okay, well, nothing there. I'm looking for a 15-minute model down to the downside. This may be an accumulation day. Why as well? Because after expansion, we're getting hit with this accumulation. It's not really going anywhere. So something that I am aware of is it could be accumulating. Ideally, I want to see this be considered my high, right? So this accumulation, manipulation, wanting to see the distribution back lower. But right now, it is fucking not respecting that idea anyway. We do have this 15-minute C2 that's located there now. 3-minute CISD, strong closure. Boom, I'm in here. Phases in price, 30-minute. This is going to be the opening of a new 30. And we should be able to rip this down to 2R. Accumulation, manipulation, 3-minute V-shape. And this should just rip. Ah, shit, we're getting stopped. Or maybe not. Motherfucker. That's fucking crazy. I thought we were done for. But that's why we always use what? Proper stop losses, right? That's why we use them. So that way we don't gotta worry. Does it hit full TP at 2.6R, which it should. Without hesitation, it should hit 2.6R, right? So with that 2.6, does it hit my 3? It does hit 3. So cool there. That was a difficult one, I'm not gonna lie. Only reason why I traded NQ here is because NQ actually had a 15-minute C2. It's the only one. YM doesn't have that 15-minute C2. We are setting the high of that 10 a.m. candle with that 15-minute C2. YM kind of just was like doing whatever it wanted, which is kind of weird. But
just the profile from that 15-minute C2 here, and then you got that 10:30 closure. This becomes your entry, or 10:30 opening price. This becomes your entry with the clear V-shaped reversal, CISD, and then you do have what below us? Low resistance liquidity. In alignment with what? Order flow, and in alignment with what? Our next draw on liquidity that is to the left of us. So with that all being said, that's why NQ, just the only one with the proper framework to go lower, is the one we took down to the downside, right? So that would be March 14th. Hey, yeah.
Oh, I'm entering like a flow state right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Might just keep going, dog. Not gonna front.
It's already been an hour. I want to at least get it up to 17. Okay, so taking a look here on the daily time frame, what are we taking? We're just within bearish order flow. I'm not trying to fucking long anything. I'm not gonna front about that, right? Ooh, wait, actually, I may be lying about that. It really depends on what time this reversal has happened, because if the reversal has happened early in the day at, like, let's say 1800, then yes, that okay. So no, this is just an accumulation. So with this accumulation looking like this, I guess we are reversing prices. It's just very hard to long above this high just because of how relevant it is. There is SMT that's located like this, and then the asset here is just kind of an accumulation. Where could we go to other than this high? I don't think we're going up to these highs here. You know what I mean? So it's very difficult for us to even frame anything here. Daily profile does have a nice open low high close though, and we are reversing off of a very relevant level. We could see NQ wanting to go that up to we could see NQ wanting to rebalance this range, which it kind of already did though. I'm not gonna front there, right? Let's see. Ideally, if I wanted to trade up higher, it would be this range low up to range high, daily profile, open, low, high, close. And then we can see that just it's overall fucking a clear reversal, right? A V-shaped reversal. So let's see if we can respect some of these gaps. I don't really want to. So we are bullish. It's extremely bullish, right? I can't just long here, though, at the top of these days like this. I need to see a deeper pull back because of the fact that we are very high in the range. So here's your deeper pull back, sweeping out some of these lows that's located to the left of us. With the sweeping of these lows that's located to the left of us like that, this is where I would like to see price actually start to respect. Oh, I don't like the way these are equal, though. Not going to lie. I mean, they're SMT, but they're still equal. You know what I mean? I could trade a 3-minute OB. Actually, I'll trade this one here. There's not going to be a 3-minute CISD this way. And this would just be like a 1-minute AMD. Back to the highest point of the day. And that's just your 3-minute candle. Actually, I'll wait for 10 a.m. because it's already 57. We'll just wait for 10 a.m. to have like a open low fucking OB. So here it would be like your NQ is ripping up higher. Holding a lot more strength than YM is now. Very fucking confusing. I'm not going to lie to you there. Sweeping out those highs like that. Everything I need, I'm a fiend for the green sticky leaves. Yes, I'm getting so high. Who's got everything I need? I'm a fiend for the green sticky leaves. Yes, I'm getting so. Who's got the chronic that I like? That's a beautiful fucking manipulation if I ever seen one. Am I right, brother? Alive. Everything's so right. Everything's so right, cause I'm feeling so high. It's me in the right state of mind. Ah, shit. Break even trade or what? It puts me in the right state of mind. Holy. Yeah, valid. Once you tap into that high, you can get the reaction like that. Dry, wanna dry. Dun, dun. Got the herb when I'm dry. Looks like a break-even trade. Or 2R. Fuck. Well, that was the draw on liquidity. So basically what this trade was, it was literally like saying, remember how we were saying it's fucking difficult to trade away from these equal lows. What happens after we impact those equal lows? V-shaped reversal, CISD, setting the low of this 10 a.m. candle with what? A 15-minute C2 outside of a gap. With that 15-minute C2 from there, you have that V shape and you can enter on the V shape reversal. NQ was a lot higher in the range and showing us a lot more strength. The problem with NQ is I don't long at the highest points of the day, and the phases of price on the lagging asset or weaker asset is showing us very clear phases of price of accumulation, manipulation, with the V-shaped reversal very strong as well. We can just take that upwards, and that's why we got on side with that trade, going from where range here with your daily profile, open, low, high, close, and then you want to go and trade it back up to where that high there, going for range low to range high. All right. Get so high, yeah. Who's got the herb when I'm dry? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, fuck. To be honest, I'm not really a fan. I used to be in the military, bro. And I always thought when I get out, I'm gonna smoke weed. I definitely ain't smoking weed, dog. I just don't like being under the influence of anything, if I gotta be completely honest with you. Fuck, I don't feel like I'm in my prime, you know what I mean? It's like, even when I drink, it's like I'll drink a beer here and there, but it's like when I talk here and there, it's probably because I was crashing out and I need a fucking break, dog. But I just don't like being under the influence, if I gotta be completely honest with you. Alright, so we have range low getting impacted. SMT, the asset setting the SMT is reversing price up to the upside. So if the asset sets the SMT, reverses price, and we're extremely bullish, that means the SMT is considered valid. And if the SMT is considered valid, I want to take notice that we are running us into this high where YM is failing to manipulate it. We do have further draw on liquidity, however, and this is also forming the lowest point of the week. As you can see, Monday does open low, sets the low here with that SMT, and expands up higher. We can see a different phase in price here where we might be able to trade NQ as the lagging asset. It really depends on the phases in price to see if NQ is going to be doing that and what the first 3 minutes of this fucking market open does give us. The market does give us a very, honestly, it's just super expansive, even coming into Asia and the rest of the day, where I might want to trade back down into the range. And the reasoning why I want to trade back into the range, because after expansion, what can we anticipate? A different phase in price to trade back down lower, going from range or external range back down to internal range, which that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. If we're gonna go external range to internal range, we might see NQ be the asset that does go and do that. Right, we can take notice that the 6 a.m. candle does have a nice open high profile. There is SMT between swing formations like this, and there is reasons for us to go low or lower. Right, yes, there's a small wick, but after expansion and just more expansion, I need to trade back. I need to rebalance this range, simply. Right, 15-minute CISD and everything like that. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, so my bias to go back downwards is extremely wrong. And it looks like we do want to actually keep on pushing upwards to just keep expanding. So I want it to be bearish here. Oh, fuck. This is a very nice entry on NQ. So let's see if we can get... Oh, I missed it. Fuck. Let's see if I can get an entry here on NQ. Just let a 15-minute pullback here. So let's see if this 15-minute gap holds price up to the upside. If it holds price up to the upside, we can see NQ go and reach up for these highs that's located up to the left of us. Right. So with this all being said, we're getting hit with that accumulation, the manipulation, the 10 a.m. open, low, high, close, and we can see us getting this to our located like this. Only problem with this right now is like there's no break even points, but we should be fine. Right. Stops can go break even since we're already ripping. With you. And then that would be our TP. And that's just in alignment with this one, right? And you want to go and shoot up to this high as we are already on the way to those highs. And this should just go and reach to that TP. Right. And basically what this was what, seeing that the driver does have this thing. Honestly, I should have been in at that 9:30 fucking 3 closure like this. It should have been in already. But I mean, fuck, I was bearish coming into the day, right? So my bias was wrong. But then what do we just wait for? If we miss the driver, what do we wait for? Any 15-minute swing formation, 15-minute swing, 3-minute CISD. This is just an easy. That's why I kind of was willing to take this. Is just because you had that very clear accumulation, manipulation, 3-minute CISD, and this is what your 10 a.m. open, low, high, close, and you're just taking that 10 a.m. ICISD up to where these highs that's located above us, right? Out of that 15-minute internal. That's all it was, dog. Wasn't fucking that complicating. Just not trying to overcomplicate it. Anyway, cool. Let's do one more. Let's finish up this week here. So taking a look here, daily prime frame, very expansive previous day. That was actually exactly how we said we wanted to play it, right? Was that NQ lagging asset logic to go and break that SMT, and we could see the strength switch into NQ to do that. We have 2 days of expansion. There is an obvious draw on liquidity on YM, however, so we're going to be trading up to that draw on liquidity there. That's going to be considered what we're looking at. We do take notice that this price does go and rip us upwards with that very strong daily C2 there. Daily C3, we're impacting a level. We may be hit with like I'm always on alert to see if we're gonna get hit with a different phase in price. Daily profile does have a nice open low profile with some equal highs that's located above us, alongside with this as well. So I want to see this 6 a.m. candle actually hold price up to the upside, because I don't have a high a day right now. Currently, this is an accumulation. Looking at this 6 a.m. as a manipulation and wanting to see us rip back up higher. It's just which asset is going to be the asset that's going to be more bullish than the next. We can take notice of what price is manipulating out these lows. There is SMT that's located like this. NQ does rip down lower first and manipulates out these lows, and now is reversing price up to the upside. With this being said, honestly, I'm just going to enter right here as this entry like that. Stops can go here, and I'm going to go and rip this up to 2R. Why as well? Because daily profile supports it. This isn't the lowest point of the day. So with this not being the lowest point of the day, I can trade that first level CISD that's located like this, and we should be able to rip this up to the upside, as NQ is now showing some pretty good bullish momentum, validating that SMT, and we have all of this low resistance liquidity that we want to go and target up to. So that would be my entry here. YM is the stronger asset, as is showing on that lower time frame. Basic. And then that would be your 2R, right? Does it go to the full fucking draw? Oh shit, it doesn't. What the fuck? Daily opening price is impacted. I don't know what's up with that deep retracement. It should go up all the way to the full draw, honestly. And then there will be your full draw, all of that low resistance, daily opening low into internal range, SMT at the low, 3-minute CISD, 9:30 goes and confirms price is bullish, and you just take that fucker upwards, right? It's not that serious, dog. I don't know why this fucker missed though, like that close though. That I can't explain. This would be your first CISD here. Let's say you was to miss this first 3-minute entry here. It's just really just that first 3 fucking minutes is where it's at, dog. I swear, bro. Swear. And then what do we take notice of here is just the push. You could have entered. I can't really say I would enter here, because this is, I mean, maybe you could have entered this one as the continuation OB. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Like that. And that's around the new 15-minute open as well. Fuck, I'm not entirely sure, bro. I'm not gonna lie. One last day. That's all we gotta do is one last day, bro. One fucking last day. One last day, and I'm gonna call it a night. It's what 1:30, bro, right now. 1:25 in the morning. Holy fuck, dude. Fried. It's fine. We'll be alright. Okay, so obviously super bullish here. we do impact this level here on YM. So after multiple days of expansion impacting of a relevant level, we can anticipate for what? A different phase in price. We are just multiple days, right? And as you can tell, it does what? It smallens up as well. So it goes big, medium, small. Fuck. Right. Okay. So we're getting hit with this accumulation. Ideally, I mean, you could assume that NQ would want to catch up, but the only problem with this is just multiple days of expansion could give us that different phase in price sooner than later type shit, right? There is SMT in between these swing lows like this, where now YM has taken it. It's actually closing inside, so YM is showing us that relative strength. 1800 daily profile does definitely support us to go lower or higher here. We are impacting this level. NQ is ripping us upwards, so NQ is showing me more relative strength here. YM, as you can tell, is in that consolidation. See how it closes bearish here on that first 3-minute candle, whereas NQ is supporting that bullish momentum, and it is still holding that bullish press upwards. So with that bullish press, honestly, I'll fucking enter this bitch right here, bro. Off of this 3-minute gap, push, and a strong closure through up to 2R, just like that. And YM is going to be, or NQ should be considered that lagging asset logic. Oh shit, fuck. Zoom out, see if we can get a 15-minute here. Damn. Obviously I had the wrong stop loss placement. Definitely did not. That was not a stop loss placement. The best option was this option right there, waiting for that actual opposing candles block. That was dumb on me. Yeah, that was not good on my part, right? Just should have waited for the opposing candle, and then what do you see when it does have the opposing candle? It rips. So that was impatient. That was bad on me. Fuck. Yeah, don't do that one. Wait for the 3-minute. Fuck, I don't know what was going up with me, bro. Yeah, that was so bad. Just literally ruined the fucking win streak, bro. That's crazy. Whatever the case may be, let's go and take a look at the statistics. I am done, bro. I need to go to sleep, dog. Fuck me. So 63, 26, what are we up currently? 13R, 13% in that first half of that month here. Obviously, this loss shouldn't have happened. Doing really well so far, though. How much fucking wins is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there was a loss here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins and 1, 2, 3, 4 losses and 5 losses. So 9 wins and 5 losses. About that 50%, right? 50% win rate type shit. Yeah, as you can tell, it's fucking Fridays, bro. It's just my worst day here with that 42% win rate on those Fridays. Overall, yeah, still pretty good. Trading at a 63% win rate, a lot better now. After, like, bro, I was struggling, dog, before. Fucking trying to trade those drivers, it used to tear me apart. I'm not gonna front there. If I just wait 3 minutes, fuck. 3 minutes tells me the whole story, dog. The first 3 minutes tells me the whole story. All I need is 3. I don't even need any more than that. Pretty good though for now. 26%, 26R on the year so far, 13R in this first half of this month. So other than that, pretty sick. Wow, fucking murdering it. I'm gonna type up a plan and I'll post it on my YouTube. Yeah, I'll post it on my YouTube. I'll type up the actual current backtesting plan. I didn't type it up or anything, so you guys can see what the current plan is and what we're doing with it. Other than that though, I'm gonna log out. I gotta go to sleep. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys want 15% off of your FX replay, go ahead and use code replay15. That'll get you 15% off of your monthly subscription. And yeah, away from that, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.